All right. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm going to say this again for all of our brothers and sisters headed in from out of town to Destin, Florida. We pray for your travel, pray for your safety. Can't wait to give you a hug and love on everybody while they're here. So, got a good event lined up. All right. And if you're not in our company, I always say this, you better reach out to somebody, okay, and ask them what's up, because we are a fun group. Just ask Andrea. And we're humble too, because we don't brag on ourselves. So, kidding. All right, the word for this morning is empathy. Now, hey, Randy, good to see you this morning, buddy. Randy's headed into work. We're going to talk to him about empathy. He's going to go in and love on everybody today after this word. So, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Now, the words for this week are all coming from ease, as in elephant. But here's the thing. Empathy, I talked to you yesterday about my deal with my buddy that really gave me a different perspective. Empathy kind of falls in line with that, like the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. How many of you struggle? Let's be honest. Like, you don't have to raise your hand unless you want to raise both of them. How many of you can have empathy for somebody that feels the way you feel, but might be going through a difficult time? But how many of you struggle when the feeling is from a like you don't agree, right? So you have a difference of opinions. Do you have the same amount of empathy, right? So you don't agree with the way, let's say it's business. I'm running this system and you're running this system. So we don't agree with what each other's run. Like I don't agree, but yet maybe you going through some, and I don't give you the empathy. Or maybe it's you're living a life a certain way and I'm living my life and I'm kind of judging your life and the way you're living it. And I don't have that degree of empathy. And I go back to the good book and I go, is that really the way you lived? I don't think so. Walked with the sinners, dealt with the people that was doing bad and wrong. And he just led with love. He had empathy. And so I share that this morning to go, man, do I have a lot of work to do, because I'm a flawed human. Alfred Adler once said, empathy is seen with the eyes of another, is seen through the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. Like, do I see it through your eyes? Do I feel it through your feelings? I don't think so. A lot of times I think the answer is no for me. I see it through my eyes. Empathy is truly the ability to emotionally understand what other people feel, see things from their point of view, and imagine yourself in their place. And essentially, it's putting yourself in someone else's position and feeling what they must be feeling. And when I looked at empathy, I went, man, again, I've got a lot of work to do in my life. And I kind of laughed at myself this morning as I thought about this, because I was like, I go through the day, even the days and I'm like feeling good and I'm like, man, I got the word, I'm positive. I still go through the day being judgmental, not appreciating another person's point of view because it's not like my point of view. And I will sometimes even villainize those people. Like you're a villain. because you don't see things the way I see it. You know, I can't believe you're drinking that Coke, but then I go eat 2 cheesecakes at night. I can't believe you're drinking 4 cups of coffee, but I drink 6 Cokes. I'm so healthy. You're so not healthy. But then I put things in my body too that are not healthy. So all of these things I deal with every day. And I thought, you know what? This word is great for me because it lets me, you know, as I walk through the world, as I walk through the day to day, I think it puts it in perspective. Empathy is seeing with the eyes of another, listening with the ears of another, and feeling with the heart of another. So, Andrea, I'll turn it to you. Good one.
Great message. That, you know, it's so funny, like you absolutely stepped on my toes because I am fantastic at being empathetic when I agree. And if I don't agree, I think I can absolutely move to a place of judgment, which is awful. So definitely need to work on being more empathetic. So empathy, the quote that I found was, empathy is communicating that incredible healing message of you are not alone. And that's Brene Brown. And I think in all communication, like I really can't think of a single conversation that I've had with another human that wasn't kind of the end goal, where I wanted to feel understood and I wanted them to feel understood. And we both just wanted to feel like we were in it together, be it, you know, we're working on a work project together, or we're fighting in the home together, or whatever it is. We don't want to be alone. We want that person to be right there with us. And studies find, I don't know who does these studies, but studies find that highly empathetic people are more likely to have more friends. They have more meaningful relationships. And overall, they're just better functioning humans. And empathy is really just understanding someone else's experience, so much so that you can imagine yourself having it with them. And it's truly the foundation for kindness, for understanding. It helps us in our relationships to understand the needs and the experiences and the feelings of the other person. And it truly, like, sometimes we can think of it as sympathy, but empathy is really different than sympathy, because sympathy is really focusing on the reaction, right? I feel sympathetic for you. But empathy takes it further, where you're actually putting yourself in their shoes. So, you know, somebody is rude to you or whatever, and you go, oh man, they're going through it. Like, I can only imagine what it must be like to be dealing with what they're dealing. And if I was dealing with that, I would be an absolute basket case, and like climbing right in with them. But how do we do this? And I'm so grateful, because according to Professor Google, this is a trait that we all can develop. This isn't, you know, some people are more naturally empathetic, but this is something we can all get better at, which I'm very excited about. So the first step in that is to be curious. Be curious about people that you don't know. Be curious about the people in your life. Ask some more questions. Find out more about what's going on with them, so you know where and how to be empathetic with them. Number 2 is to focus on the similarities rather than the differences. And, you know, maybe, well, I'll tell you, I'm reading a book right now. I actually just finished it this morning. It was really good. I'll tell you all about it. But like at least a quarter of what the author wrote, I completely disagreed with. Like, we couldn't have been farther apart, you know, politically, and kind of was dripped in there. There were some other things that I just absolutely disagreed with. But the foundation of the entire book, I agreed on, like a really deep level. And so when I was reading it, one, I tried to learn the lessons from the differences, but I really focused on the similarities and how I could relate to this author and how I could learn from her. And it was a very interesting experience. Typically, I put the book down. Oh, I can't get anything from this. I just put it away, but I'm trying not to be so closed minded and to do a little bit better in that way. But number 3 is to put yourself in someone else's shoes. And I think about when I see a homeless lady, like a homeless lady with a child, I will lose my mind because I can absolutely put myself in her shoes. I know what it's like to be a mama. I know what it's like to struggle. I don't know what it's like to struggle to that extent, but I absolutely can put myself in her shoes. The hard part is when we see somebody where we don't even understand their shoes. But if we slow down enough and just walk ourselves through it, of whatever the situation is, kind of break down the details in your mind and see where you can put yourself in and truly try to walk in those shoes. Number 5 is, I skipped number 4. Number 4 is to listen, but also share. Empathy is not just about having empathy for others. It's also about showing ourselves, being vulnerable, like opening up just a little bit more in safe and trusted places that they get to know you and they see that you are truly on their side and you are a whole human. You're not just that, Instagram filter. Number 5 is to connect with action movements, social action movements. So getting involved in things that are bigger than you, and advocacy. Somebody help me with the pronunciation of that group, or a charity, or your church. All of that is a great way for you to embody empathy. And then lastly, get creative. People think that just because we disagree with somebody, or if somebody lives in a different way, that we cannot be empathetic. But it might be harder, but we can absolutely get there if we are creative. Every single human on this planet, there's not a single human, and there's not a single human. I'm trying, who I'm thinking of, Coach Palmer. You probably do, a famous person, maybe in a political realm that I think really bad thoughts of sometimes. But every single human on this planet deserves our empathy, no matter how different they are, no matter how strongly we might oppose some of their beliefs and some of their views and some of the ways that they live. But if we use our imagination and if we get to a place of compassion, we can absolutely feel empathy, even for those people that we want to flick in the nose.
Okay. Did you try to get political on us?
I
Just so
almost
everybody
did.
knows.
I
y'all
sweat
wouldn't have
a little
clue-
bit there.
You wouldn't have a clue politically who she's talking about. It's somebody on a local level. So not a national. So guys,
Thank you for covering,
appreciate-
Coach. That is true.
Yeah, just letting you know that's the truth. So guys, this is a great word. And I'll tell you this about the Coach's Corner, this community, you group of people, you really make me strive to want to be a better person. I mean, studying the words, looking at this, like I go, man, if it weren't for this community, taking a word of the day, like spending time with you guys, well, my day, my month, my year wouldn't be as effective or impactful if it weren't for you in my life. So appreciate you guys. Happy Tuesday. I'm super grateful for you guys today. I hope you can feel it. Love you. See you guys.
Love you guys. Have a beautiful
Thank
day.
you. See you
Safe
tomorrow.
travels.
Thank
Everybody-
you.
Have a great day.
You guys.
Bye.
See you guys tomorrow.